The WWE Universe just witnessed something absolutely explosive that nobody saw coming, and trust me when I say this changes everything for the landscape of professional wrestling as we know it. Paul Heyman stood in that ring with Bron Breakker and dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through every single person watching, whether they were in the arena or glued to their screens at home. Brock Lesnar is officially the newest member of the Vision, and if you thought things were intense before, you haven't seen anything yet. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now because you're not going to want to miss a single moment of what's about to unfold. The moment Paul Heyman's music hit, the arena erupted in a mixture of anticipation and uncertainty, because whenever the Wiseman shows up, you know something significant is about to go down. He walked out with that signature confident swagger, carrying a microphone like it was an extension of his own body, and behind him was Bron Breakker, looking more focused and dangerous than ever before. The two of them made their way down the ramp with purpose, and you could feel the tension building with every single step they took toward that squared circle. Heyman climbed through the ropes first, followed by Breakker, and the crowd was buzzing with speculation about what kind of announcement was coming their way. Heyman grabbed the microphone and did what he does best by commanding the attention of every single soul in that building with just his presence alone. He started talking about how the Vision has been meticulously crafted over time with careful planning and strategic recruitment of only the most dominant forces in professional wrestling. He reminded everyone that this wasn't just some thrown-together faction, but rather a calculated movement designed to reshape the entire industry from top to bottom. The crowd was hanging on his every word as he spoke about power and dominance, and how the Vision represents something far greater than any individual competitor could achieve on their own. Bron Breakker stood beside Heyman looking like an absolute force of nature, with his arms crossed and his eyes scanning the crowd with an intensity that made it clear he wasn't there to play games. Heyman continued his promo by emphasizing that the Vision needed someone who embodied pure raw power combined with an unmatched killer instinct and championship pedigree. He talked about how they needed someone who has conquered every challenge put in front of them, and someone who strikes fear into the hearts of opponents the moment their music hits the speakers. The anticipation in the arena was reaching a fever pitch as everyone tried to guess who this mystery member could possibly be. Then Heyman paused for dramatic effect and let the silence hang in the air for what felt like an eternity before he finally said the name that nobody expected to hear. Brock Lesnar was announced as the newest member of the Vision, and the reaction was absolutely deafening. The crowd exploded with a combination of cheers and stunned disbelief as they processed what they just heard, because bringing someone of Lesnar's caliber into an already dominant group takes things to a completely different stratosphere. Heyman had the biggest smile on his face as he let the moment sink in, while Bron Breakker nodded in approval, showing that this addition had his full support and endorsement. The implications of Brock Lesnar joining the Vision are absolutely massive when you really think about what this means for everyone else on the roster. Lesnar is a former UFC heavyweight champion and multiple-time WWE champion who has demolished everyone put in front of him throughout his entire career. His combination of legitimate fighting credentials, amateur wrestling background, and freakish athleticism makes him one of the most dangerous competitors to ever step foot in a wrestling ring. Now imagine that level of dominance being channeled through an organized faction, with Paul Heyman's strategic genius guiding every move and Bron Breakker's youth and aggression complementing Lesnar's experience and power. Paul Heyman went on to explain why Brock Lesnar made the decision to align himself with the Vision after years of being a lone wolf who operated on his own terms. According to Heyman, the Vision represents evolution and adaptation in an industry that constantly demands innovation and fresh approaches to success. Lesnar recognized that joining forces with like-minded individuals who share his hunger for dominance would allow him to accomplish things that even he couldn't achieve working solo. The partnership makes perfect sense when you consider that Heyman has been Lesnar's advocate for years, and their chemistry together is undeniable both inside and outside the ring. Bron Breakker finally grabbed the microphone, and his words carried just as much weight as anything Heyman had said up to that point. He talked about respect and how Brock Lesnar is someone he has admired since he first decided to pursue professional wrestling as a career. Breakker emphasized that having Lesnar as part of the Vision validates everything they've been working toward and sends a clear message to the entire locker room. That message is simple and direct, which is that the Vision isn't playing around and they're here to take over every championship, every main event, and every major moment moving forward. The conviction in Breakker's voice made it crystal clear that this wasn't just talk but rather a legitimate declaration of war on anyone who stands in their way. The crowd was still processing everything when Heyman started listing off potential targets and opponents who should be watching their backs now that Lesnar is part of the Vision. He mentioned current champions, contenders, and even legends who might be thinking about making comebacks because none of them are safe anymore. The way Heyman painted the picture made it sound like the Vision was about to embark on a path of destruction that would leave the entire WWE landscape permanently altered. His words weren't delivered as threats but rather as promises, backed up by the presence of two of the most physically imposing athletes in the business standing right there beside him. What makes this alliance particularly interesting is the dynamic between Brock Lesnar and Bron Breakker, because both men are known for their intensity and neither one typically plays well with others. However, there's a mutual respect between them that's built on their shared understanding of what it takes to succeed at the highest level. Breakker comes from wrestling royalty with his family legacy in the business, and Lesnar carved out his own legendary status through sheer dominance and an unmatched will to win. Together they represent different generations coming together under one unified banner, with Paul Heyman serving as the mastermind who orchestrates their collective assault on the competition. The strategic advantages of having Brock Lesnar in the Vision cannot be overstated when you break down what he brings to the table beyond just his in-ring abilities. His name value alone instantly elevates any storyline or program he's involved in, and his presence on a show guarantees that fans will tune in to see what happens next. For Breakker, this partnership provides legitimacy and rub from working alongside someone of Lesnar's stature while also giving him protection from potential booking decisions that might otherwise slow his momentum. The Vision now has a perfect blend of youth, experience, brute strength and technical prowess, all wrapped up in one cohesive unit. Paul Heyman continued cutting his promo by addressing critics and doubters who might question whether egos would clash within such a powerful group. He dismissed those concerns by pointing out that everyone involved in the Vision understands that collective success benefits them all more than individual glory ever could. The goal isn't about personal accolades or individual championship reigns, but rather about establishing complete dominance over the entire wrestling landscape. Heyman's words painted a picture of unity and shared purpose that transcended typical faction dynamics where members constantly jockey for position and spotlight. The visual of Brock Lesnar eventually making his way to the ring to stand alongside Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker would be absolutely incredible, and something that sends chills down the spine of every wrestling fan. Just imagining the three of them together in that ring with Heyman holding court while flanked by two absolute monsters is the kind of imagery that creates iconic wrestling moments. The power that radiates from such a combination is almost overwhelming when you consider what they're capable of accomplishing both individually and as a collective unit working toward common goals. Other superstars backstage have to be feeling a mixture of emotions right now, ranging from concern to outright fear, because the Vision just became exponentially more dangerous overnight. Champions are probably looking over their shoulders wondering when the Vision will set their sights on taking their titles, and contenders are reassessing their chances of breaking through to the main event scene with this kind of opposition in their way. The entire locker room dynamic shifts when a group this powerful forms, because it forces everyone else to either step up their game or risk being left behind in the wake of the Vision's dominance. The booking possibilities moving forward are endless with this new configuration of the Vision, because there are so many dream matches and scenarios that can play out. Imagine Brock Lesnar and Bron Breakker working together in tag team situations where their combined power would make them virtually unstoppable against any combination of opponents. Think about the chaos they could create in battle royals or multi-person matches where having allies who can clear the ring in seconds gives them an enormous advantage. The creative team now has a goldmine of content to work with that can carry multiple storylines for months or even years, depending on how they choose to utilize these characters. Paul Heyman wrapped up his announcement by issuing an open challenge to anyone brave enough or foolish enough to step up and try to stop the Vision's march to total dominance. He made it clear that the Vision welcomes all challengers, because proving their superiority over and over again is exactly what they're designed to do. The confidence in his voice was backed up by the knowledge that he has two of the most dangerous competitors in the world ready to back up every word he speaks. Heyman's ability to sell a concept or idea is unmatched in the business, and he made everyone believe that the Vision truly is unstoppable now that Brock Lesnar has joined their ranks. Bron Breakker closed out the segment by promising that the Vision is just getting started and that what everyone witnessed tonight is only the beginning of something much larger. He talked about how the Vision will redefine what it means to be dominant in professional wrestling and how they will set new standards that others will spend years trying to reach. The passion and intensity in his delivery made it impossible not to take him seriously, because you could see in his eyes that he genuinely believes in everything he's saying. When someone speaks with that level of conviction, it resonates with the audience and creates investment in seeing whether they can actually deliver on their promises. The crowd was left buzzing as Heyman and Breakker posed in the ring, soaking in the reaction and letting the weight of their announcement fully sink in with everyone watching. The energy in the arena was electric, because moments like this don't happen very often, where you can feel the entire direction of a company potentially shifting right before your eyes. Social media immediately exploded with reactions as fans around the world shared their thoughts, opinions, and predictions about what comes next for the Vision and how this changes everything going forward. The wrestling industry as a whole took notice of this development, because when someone like Brock Lesnar makes a major move, it reverberates throughout the entire business. Other promotions and competitors are surely paying attention, because the Vision just became the most talked about faction in wrestling and possibly the most dangerous group ever assembled in terms of pure physical dominance. The combination of Paul Heyman's mind, Bron Breakker's aggression, and Brock Lesnar's otherworldly abilities creates something that feels genuinely special and different from anything we've seen before. Looking ahead to the future, the possibilities are truly limitless for what the Vision can accomplish now that they have this level of star power and legitimacy. Championship pursuits become far more interesting when you know that the Vision has the tools to capture and hold multiple titles simultaneously across different divisions. Rivalries with other top stars or factions become must-see television, because the stakes are automatically elevated when the Vision is involved. Every appearance, every promo, and every match takes on added significance because you never know when Brock Lesnar might show up and change the entire complexion of a situation in an instant. The announcement of Brock Lesnar joining the Vision represents one of those watershed moments that fans will remember and talk about for years to come because it has all the elements of a game-changing development. Paul Heyman's masterful delivery, Bron Breakker's intensity, and the sheer magnitude of adding someone like Lesnar to an already formidable group creates the perfect storm of compelling wrestling storytelling. This is exactly the kind of content that keeps fans engaged and invested in following along week after week to see how everything plays out. So if you haven't already, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates on the Vision and all the chaos they're about to unleash on the WWE Universe, because things are about to get absolutely insane and you're going to want to be here for every single moment of this incredible journey that's just beginning.